Fabulous, without sounding gushy. It's the fabulous catch that Willie Mays made, and he made it over his head and backwards. It's one of the great moments of sport. He was facing the outfield fence and running it the other way, and it's even though I can picture it just as well as I could see it, I can watch it endlessly. I never fail to feel my scalp horripilate whenever I see that.
Tony Tennille. What's your favorite memory, Tony?
Well, I think it's got to be when Bob Welch, who was a rookie pitcher at the time, struck out Reggie Jackson in the World Series. I got to tell you that all of us just totally fell apart when that happened. I knew Bobby. I had met him, and he's a kind of a quiet, kind of a shy guy. And to see him come up against the great power-hitting Reggie Jackson and strike him out was, I'll always replay that in my mind. I think that was the most exciting moment.
Reggie Jackson is the batter. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. They go, struck him out. Ball game is over. Bob Welch, a tremendous pitching performance. Listen to the crowd.
I remember that Reggie Jackson-Bob Welch battle, too. I was sitting in the press box. Now, you're not supposed to cheer up here. Reggie Jackson, the batter, Bob Welch on the mound, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, winning run on base, strength against strength. You talk about an exciting moment. But as a broadcaster, you have to remain neutral. But the fan in you is still pretty excited. Now, President Reagan knows just what I mean. Did you know he used to be an announcer for the Chicago Cubs? Well, at a special White House luncheon honoring baseball's Hall of Famers, the president reminisced with some pretty famous people, and then he recalled how tough it can be to sit in front of a microphone.
I was doing the games by telegraphic report, and fella on the other side of a window with a little slit underneath, the headphones on, getting the dot and dash Morse code from the ballpark, would type out the play, and the paper would come through to me. It'd see S1C. Well, you're not going to sell any Wheaties yelling S1C. So I'd say, and so-and-so comes out of the windup. It's a pitch. And it's a called strike, breaking over the outside corner to so-and-so who'd rather have a ball someplace else and so forth, and backed out there. Well, I saw him start to type, and I started, Dizzy Dean was on the mound, and I started the ball on the way to the plate, or him in the windup, and Curly, the fellow on the other side, was shaking his head. And I thought maybe it was a miraculous play or something, but when a slip came through, it says, the wire's gone dead. Well, I had the ball on the way to the plate. And I figured real quick, I could say, we'll tell them what had happened and then play transcribed music. But in those days, there were at least 7 or 8 other fellas that were doing the same ball game. I didn't want to lose the audience. So I thought real quick, there's one thing doesn't get in the scorebook. So I had Billy foul one off. And I looked at Curly, and Curly just went like this. So I had him foul another one. And I had him foul one back at third base and describe the fight between the 2 kids that were trying to get the ball. And I had him foul one that just missed being a home run, about 1.5 feet. And I did set a world record for successive fouls or for someone standing there, except that no one keeps records of that kind. And I was beginning to sweat when Curly sat up straight and started typing, and he was nodding his head yes. And a slip came through the window, and I could hardly talk for laughing, because it said, Jurgis popped out on the first ball pitch.
Everybody loves baseball. Whether you're a movie star, a singer, or a television personality, or even a president, when you get to the ballpark, you're just another fan. And this is what it's all about. This little white thing weighs only about 5 ounces, but when they finish the national anthem and hand it to the pitcher and yell, play ball, it gets more attention than a 500-pound wrecking ball. The All-Star Game is a celebration, and it's a special event for all fans wherever they are, because when you come right down to it, celebrity or not, anyone who loves baseball is a super fan.
I just flat out love baseball.
It's something else. It's something different. Baseball it's a breed apart.
This is the true patriotic game that the American people truly love.
I think that in order to be a really excellent baseball fan, you have to have no common sense.
Nothing is better than professional baseball.
Baseball, let's play.
Back to lead off for the National League, Pete Rose from the Philadelphia Phillies. Dave Concepcion will bat second for the Cincinnati Reds, the shortstop. Dave Parker from the Pirates, the right fielder, will bat third. Mike Schmidt from Philadelphia, the cleanup hitter, and the third baseman. George Foster from Cincinnati will bat fifth and play left field. Andre Dawson from Montreal, the center fielder, will bat sixth. Gary Carter from Montreal, the catcher, seventh. Davey Lopes from the Los Angeles Dodgers, the second baseman, will bat eighth. And the pitcher, Fernando Valenzuela from the Dodgers. For the American League, Rod Carew will lead off for the California Angels. He'll play first base. Willie Randolph from the Yankees will bat second and play second. George Brett from the Kansas City Royals will play third base and bat third. The cleanup hitter for the American League, Dave Winfield of the Yankees. He'll be playing center field. Ken Singleton of Baltimore will bat fifth and play left field. Reggie Jackson from the Yankees will be in right and bat sixth. Carlton Fisk will be behind the plate from the Chicago White Sox and bat seventh. Bucky Dent, the shortstop from the Yankees, will bat eighth. And the pitcher, Jack Morris from the Detroit Tigers. And Jack Morris, it is up to Morris to break that 9-game losing streak, the one that the National League has extended since 1963.
Nobody will be rooting harder for
the team than the hometown Cleveland Indian fans. And of course, the Cleveland
Nobody will be rooting harder for
that team than the hometown Cleveland Indian fans. And of course, the Cleveland owners, Gabe Paul, and yes, Bob Hope.
Well, you know, the team that Gabe had that started this season, when I got out to such a hot start, we hope that he repeats it in the second season, and he could with that talent.
What about the All-Star team?
Well, the All-Star team, what about the All-Star team?
We don't care who wins as long as it's the American League.
That's right. Oh, well, that's all we need, a little morale. That's all we need.
Why do you think the National League has won 9 in a row?
Lucky. Very lucky.
The odds of it happening are 512 to 1.
What?
Of a coin coming up heads 9 times in a row, chances of the same team, if they're equal, winning are 512 to 1.
We just consider that a split season.
Start the second part.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Were you worried that you might not have an All-Star game in Cleveland?
Yes, we were. Yes, we're delighted to have it. We didn't think we would.
I'll tell you one thing. They not only have an All-Star game, but they had a Brown game and a big fight. This is the greatest boost Cleveland's had for a long while, and it's going to mean something to everybody.
You do a lot of traveling. You came for this one.
Yes, sir, but I never forget Cleveland.
Who will you be rooting for?
You know who I'll be rooting for. American League.
If the American League is going to end that 9-game losing streak, it will happen here in Cleveland Stadium.
Helicopters as well as ground units helps in
us up for a while.